So today I was scrolling through Twitter, like the slap-filled person I am, and I like to check out the news. My favorite news source just happens to be Twitter, and I came across this good old source called 604 Raw. Usually I get my stuff through Dexerto, Puberty, stuff like that, but apparently, this little place, 604 Raw, gives us the amazing, just absolute context filled caption Surrey, BC. Police emoji, Canada flag emoji. Now, I'm going to show you guys what I had to put up with watching with no context whatsoever. And then I'm going to show you exactly what was going on and explain the whole reason why this is just stupid. Let's just dive right into it.
Hey,
How's it going?
not bad.
Are we recording something other than me?
Just everything around me
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're doing it for,
for myself.
okay.
Yeah.
You know, you're making people nervous, right?
I'm sure you tell them, hey, it's within my rights, though, right? The world's not a safe space.
I haven't talked to anyone yet.
Okay. Well, I'm not breaking any laws, so I can care less about their feelings, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah. Are you the feelings police or are you the legal police?
Yeah, see that double take that guy just took? Are you the feelings police? Come on, dude. What are you doing? First of all we know right now is the guy's recording and this police officer is saying, hey, you're making people nervous. It could be anything. It could literally be any of these stupid people that are going outside. Usually the, meta glasses, or they're just filming people. Like we have this type of stuff for happening so long ago. People out there filming people, and people getting mad that they're either being perverts or they're just absolutely breaching people's privacy. But obviously, it's not technically a crime, so I can still do it. It's like, yeah, we get it, it's a crime, but it's still not a good thing to do. It's not a nice thing. But currently, right now, we don't know what or who or whatever is going on that he's recording. We just know he is actively recording.
Right?
You want to show me your face?
No.
No?
No.
Okay.
So that gives us the next fun little fact. He's not showing his face. Get this. My guy is a good old hippo karate. He doesn't want to show his face, despite the fact that he's openly filming everyone else. Come on, man. If you're going to, well, because it's BC, you're gonna, I guess it would be your freedom of expression, rather, or whatever it is protected by. At least show yourself. be the confident guy to show your face. Because if you're not, then you're just a little wuss.
No.
Right. I'll take care of it. Yeah. You're the one that called?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Is it for a documentary or is it just for?
I'm not answering. No.
You're not answering it?
I can't answer. I have a boss. No information goes out. That's strict rules from him. I don't want to piss him off, so
You have a boss.
yes, this is a job.
So it's a job.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you're getting paid for this.
I can tell you 100% right now, that is a butt-loaded dookie. This isn't a job. He's not getting paid to do it. The closest he's getting paid is whatever monetization he's making off of this. And we're going to go over why there's no absolute way he's getting paid for it. I did the research. I don't think there's anyone that's paying someone to just go outside and film the outdoors in British Columbia, mind you.
Yeah.
You're employed.
I'm employed, yeah.
Okay. All right. So is it going to be like one of those YouTube channels? Is it going to be on one of the, like I said, a documentary or something political, something that has to do with a social experiment?
I'll post it on MySpace.
Sorry?
I'm gonna post it on MySpace.
MySpace.
Yeah.
Is that your platform?
No.
He's just trolling once again. Like said, it started with the "Are you the funny police?" Then it was "I have a boss," I get paid for this, I'm employed, and now it's, oh, I posted on MySpace. The guy instantly knows what you're doing. He knows that you're not actually employed. He's like, this is obviously for YouTube. He's like, oh, no, MySpace. No. You're doing it for YouTube, whether or not you're just trying to fuck with them or not.
It was like one of the first like internet platforms.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what's the context?
I'm not answering that.
You have to have a context.
Of course I do. I'm just not telling you what it is.
Why not?
Because it's my business. It's nothing personal. It's none of your business.
Well, I mean, when the public calls me,
Mhm.
I kind of get involved, right?
Yeah.
So
Within reason.
yeah, and I'm asking for some information here.
And
I'm
I'm
information
not answering.
gathering.
Okay. We'll gather your information then, and
So I'm just gonna stop him mid-sentence because nothing he says is worth listening to, but he's not explaining at all why he's there. I'm here asking context, and he's saying no. Everyone here is looking for context. We don't know what's going on. We're not going to understand. This guy could be out there recording random people for no reason whatsoever, or maybe he's trying to prove a point. We're going to go into the reason why because we find out, but to this police officer, he does not understand at all. He doesn't know why you're just outside recording people. It'd be great to know the reason why, wouldn't it? But no, of course not.
let me know if there's been a crime committed and come back to me. I don't even consent to this conversation. To be honest, you're kind of impeding my work here.
Well, I'm doing my job here.
Okay. Okay.
I'm employed too.
Okay. Well, what crime are you?
I didn't say you were
investigating.
committing a crime.
Then why are you talking to me if there's no crime being committed?
Are you serious?
Yes.
So I'm not allowed to talk to the public?
Yeah, okay. So this guy's just trying to get a reaction out of this police officer. If you haven't understood from the other 2 minutes of this video, a police officer doesn't only have to talk to you if you've committed a crime. If you're suspected of anything whatsoever, a police officer has the right to speak with you. There's a difference between whether or not a police officer has the right to enter your house versus when an officer has the right to ask you a question out in public. So I don't know what he means by I do not consent to this conversation. That is not the thing, buddy. The guy's just asking you a question. You can answer or not, but do not try and make a point that you don't consent to the conversation.
I tell you I don't consent
So
to this
I'm
conversation,
not allowed to talk to you in public?
if
You can walk away if you want.
if I tell you that I
You're
don't
free to walk
consent,
away.
so are you.
Exactly. I love this police officer so much. He's amazing. You can walk away. That's the whole thing. You can walk away. But what is he doing? He's standing there arguing with the police officer about nothing because he doesn't want to say anything. He's just arguing about nothing. We're watching two people argue because one guy doesn't want to explain what he's doing.
You're free to walk away.
So are you. Your car's right there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I can
I
park
don't
wherever I want.
consent to this conversation.
Well, I'm talking to you.
Okay.
You can walk away.
I'm just gonna ignore you.
Okay.
That was ridiculous. I don't understand what this guy was trying to do. And we're going to understand a little in a minute as to why he was doing it and the truth behind it all. But right now, this is the context we have. That's all. Let me take you beneath the veil or behind the veil. So as we see here, 604 Raw posts their TikTok credit. So if we just take that, paste that into our little bar, we get this, their YouTube. We're going to go to their YouTube. And look at this. Human pattern observation, social experiment freedom audit. Oh, when did they join? January 25th, 2026. So a new account. So we're going to take a peek at this video here. I'm not going to watch the entirety of it. That's ridiculous. But we are going to skip through it. There is not going to be any context whatsoever. But as we can see here, it is very slightly AI altered. The why are you filming That is absolutely not. That arrow is AI generated. Silent audit at Sikh temples goes sideways. So that immediately takes us to, what is a silent audit? Well, let's just find out.
I'm just curious.
So we're gonna pause there. First of all, I have captions on that, sorry. We're gonna take a peek down here. Alrighty. So this guy says, I visited 2 Sikh temples in Surrey, BC, Canada to conduct a silent audit and social experiment wearing a Trump shirt. The goal was simple: peacefully exercise the right to record in public while observing how people react to a silent masked individual with a camera. Most interactions were calm and respectful, but not everyone was happy about being filmed. Along the way, I was called a Khalistani, police were called, and other unexpected encounters unfolded. This video is not intended to provoke or harass anyone. It is a freedom of expression exercise, a public photography audit, and a social experiment focused on human behavior and public relations. This is something that I'm going to take you into. So silent audit takes us to a few different results. We see First Amendment audit being the biggest thing. Whoever this YouTube is, they just post the same thumbnail over and over again. So that already gives us the general idea that whoever this silent auditor is, they aren't exactly giving themselves a good name. But if we go into First Amendment audit on Wikipedia, that says that it involves photographing or filming in a public or publicly funded space. It is often categorized by its practitioners known as auditors. It's just exercising your right to photograph and video record in public. And I'm just going to say here, first of all, Canada doesn't have a First Amendment. So if you're trying to pull the same stuff that Americans do, it's not going to go the same. But let's just do a quick little Google search. But as we see from this general little summary, then Canada, you generally have the right to record people in public spaces, as there is typically a low expectation of privacy in such areas. However, context matters, and recording can become illegal if it involves harassment, intimidation, or violates someone's reasonable expectation of privacy. We're going to go into why he's really stepping on the line here. We're going to watch a little bit of this video. Like I said, we're going to try and skip through because I'm not sitting down watching this entire thing.
What are you recording?
What are you doing? Why? You're not supposed to be.
Yeah.
Hey.
How's it going, boss?
I don't know what his intentions are. He's recording each and every single body going in and out of the temple. And when all the police, Surrey police say we cannot do anything about it.
So this guy gives a little peek inside as to what's going on. So someone yelling at him, why are you doing that? Taxi yelling at him. And a police officer walking up towards him, doesn't even show the conversation. And then get this, a guy also recording him. Did you see how he was dodging those, like, ooh, 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 you can't see me, you can't see me. Hey buddy, you're wearing a mask. You don't need to be dodging and weaving. This guy's recording here. Also, you're proving your point wrong by dodging and weaving that guy's recordings. Just let the guy record. You're doing the same thing. There's nothing about it. But as we can see, he's going to really be stepping on the line between people's expectations of privacy and also intimidation. Like I said, if we take the little summary face value, but we don't want to entirely take it to face value. Maybe we'll look more into it later on about recording and right to privacy, but we're just going to continue on, look at the highlights of this. So instantly, we just go start right with a banger. This guy's recording people doing a group stretch activity. That is already stepping on the line of being a pervert. Like, can you not? Am I crazy for saying that being a pervert and recording people doing things and could be viewed as perverted is technically a breach of privacy on the right to privacy? Am I crazy to think that? I'm pretty sure that recording people out in public when they are to believe that they aren't being seen and don't want millions of people to be seeing, they're being recorded. Come on. Like I said, I'm not going to say that something should be legal if I don't know for a fact, but that's already just a weird thing to be doing. Like, why? What's the point?
I think we come back to this. Definitely coming back to this.
What do you mean, definitely coming back to this? Come on, you sound so weird. You're watching people do a group stretch. You're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be coming back to this. I'm gonna come back to this later. Yeah, okay. What are you doing? Come on. What? I'm almost speechless by that, and it absolutely weirds me out. What do you mean by I'm gonna definitely coming back to this? What? All right, let's just keep going.
360 on? Yep. Oh shit, I'm not supposed to say anything. Shit.
I'm not supposed to say anything. We're gonna understand that he will be saying things, and that was just a peek into the hypocrisy that he's doing. Silent audit. We're gonna understand that this isn't a silent audit.
Come back to this.
What is? Hold on. What did he say again?
Come back to this.
Okay. He's just taking a different angle. I see. See. Okay. So this is the perfect angle to show that these people believe that they are at some point, at some degree, away from the public eye. They understand that maybe a few people can look in, but it's within their curiosity. Not everyone can see. So I get it if they're doing like a group stretch on the sidewalk, but they're doing it past these gates, under some trees. These people are just trying to do something together. What's the point of recording them? Why don't you record someone on the street, or why don't you record the cars passing by? Why do you have to start with people stretching on what I would assume to be private property to some degree? It's either private property or it's if this is the temple, then it's religious grounds, which they're people expressing their freedom of religion, and you could be viewed as intimidating. But recording people expressing their religion wearing a mask, can be threatening to some degree. You have to think of people in public on what they would feel, not trying to victimize necessarily, but trying to understand that if you were praying, or if you were doing like a little prayer with your standing around the table and holding hands and saying grace, and there was just some guy with a mask just recording you guys doing your grace, and he's just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna come back to this one. It's like, why there that's really strange. Like wearing a mask, a black mask, that is going to appear intimidating and threatening before it becomes just you being a random stranger recording in public.
Wonder what they're doing.
They're stretching. Okay, so this is the amazing interaction that this guy shows at the start of the video. So we're just gonna take a quick peek into the full conversation.
I'm just curious. What are you recording? Why? Is it gonna go on TV? Okay.
Okay, so he held up his little silent audit word of not saying exactly what he's doing. Gotcha. I guess he's proving his point. But he's still expressing. He like the and that is to be interpreted in the way he is like. So he wasn't exactly silent auditing. He was sign language auditing. So that looks like the police officer that we're gonna be taking a peek later on. So what it doesn't look like that the police has already been called. Maybe it has been. I guess we're gonna see. But as I kind of peek through, he does stop. So I'm not going to say that necessarily someone could have called 911. We're going to find out. But when you're being recorded and standing out in front of a church or whatever this is, I don't want to make assumptions, then you're going to be viewed as being a little intimidating, being a little strange. You aren't on private property, but you're doing it from a distance, and it can still create an issue.
Yeah.
Hey,
How's it going, boss?
not bad, man. How are you?
Not too bad, not too bad. You just protesting something here,
No, just
Okay, first of all, he's not silent auditing. The whole point of a silent auditing is not saying anything. The guy is engaging and speaking. So it's not a silent audit. It can be a freedom of expression audit or freedom of expression or whatever this constitutes as. It's not an audit. I don't know why they call it an audit. You're trying to prove a point that doesn't have a problem to be proven. So, yeah.
working on a bit of a story.
or? Okay.
Yeah.
If you don't mind me asking what the story is?
I don't mind asking. I just not gonna answer.
Okay,
Respectfully.
sure. So is there a reason why you're doing it at this location, or?
Well, I would say no one does anything for no reason, right? I do have my own personal reasons.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can agree that it does look suspicious that you're wearing a mask in front of a
Well,
religious.
I mean, I would say what's suspicious is subjective, right? As long as it's not against the law.
Yeah, and you know what? Suspicious is subjective, and therefore, that's why freedom of expression has its restrictions and limitations. You can't freely express yourself while you could be possibly intimidating or threatening somebody. The whole point as to why hate speech isn't covered in freedom of expression is because of that exactly. That the whole point of freedom of expression is not to hurt people's feelings and make people feel like they have been intimidated or threatened. So the fact that you're saying that it's subjective is the complete point of it. If you're going to stand there in a black mask outside of a religious building and record them, people are going to think of something and there's going to be an issue. You can't act like a suspicious person and not be suspected of. That's not how that works. No one's going to look at you and be like, oh, okay. So I know for a fact that this guy is just trying to make a problem. He knew that the cops were going to eventually be called on him. That's the whole point. So let's find out what this guy does and says to this police officer.
You're not doing anything against the law.
Yeah.
The
I
report came
understand
in
it's
as
suspicious, though. Yeah.
as long as you're not bothering anyone, you're not doing anything. Remember, some people still have the right to privacy. They don't want to be recorded, right? They have that agreement too. You can
Not
record
in
me all you
public.
want. I don't care. Like that's fine.
No, people don't have that.
Well, I mean,
equality
if
in
you're going
public.
in a religious temple, like it's kind of concerning, right?
I mean, if I go in the church, then yeah, it's bad.
Understandable. That's what I'm trying to allude to, right? So, as long as you're not bothering anyone, I don't
Yeah.
have an issue with it. But we are generally going to keep getting calls about this all day.
I understand.
So
you
I
guys-
don't want you to be in a position where your safety is jeopardized or their safety is jeopardized, and
I
that's my main
appreciate that,
concern,
I
right? So
appreciate that. Yeah.
as long as you're doing it safely, you're not bothering anyone. I don't mind.
Yeah.
There probably is going to be more police officers coming regularly to this location, so just for your
Yes.
own safety, not to create a whole scene for yourself.
So the police officer is kind of repeating himself, but essentially it's It'd be appreciated if you aren't going to bother anybody. And there are going to be police officers that are going to be asking you what's going on. It could going to be a lot more than just him. And yes, he's not committing a crime. Yes, he's not committing a crime, but there's going to be an extent to what he does. So he might not be breaking the law by recording people, but if you engage like you kind of have with this police officer, then it can result in something that could result into a crime, right? People don't want to be recorded, and recording someone in public with a black mask can instigate a confrontation and result in something like an assault charge. You know, when you're out there recording someone and they want to not be recorded and you engage with them, if they take their own control of the situation, then that can be viewed as some degree of instigation. I'm not saying that instigation is necessarily a liability to assault and can be viewed as at fault. Maybe it is. Hold on. So we read here in the Criminal Code, the Canadian Criminal Code, section intimidation, section 423. And this is exactly what I've been talking about and why doing this can result in a crime being broken. Everyone is guilty of an indictable offense and liable to imprisonment for a term of not more than 5 years, or is guilty of an offense punishable on summary conviction who, wrongfully and without lawful authority, for the purpose of compelling another person to abstain from doing anything that he or she has a lawful right to do, or to do anything that he or she has a lawful right to abstain from doing. These situations are the examples of uses of violence or threats of violence to that person or their intimate partner or children, or injures the person's property. We can say that he's not doing that. Intimidates or attempts to intimidate that person or a relative of that person by threats that in Canada or elsewhere, violence or other injury will be done to or punished inflicted on him or her, or a relative of his or hers, or that the property of any of them will be damaged. I technically don't think that covers anything. The intimidation thing, but it sounds like the intimidation is more physical. Persistently follows that person. That can be considered a little bit of what he's doing. He's standing there filming a group of people and he's constantly coming back to it. It can be viewed as specifically recording specific people without their consent, and persistently following someone, like stalking, essentially. It can be viewed up that way. I'm not saying that's what he's doing, but it can get to that point if he continues to do it. Hides any tools, clothes, or other property owned or used by that person. I don't think. With one or more other persons, follows that person in a disorderly manner. On a highway, I don't think he is with anyone else. I think it's just him, so I don't say that's the same thing. Besets or watches the place where that person resides, works, carries on business, or happens to be. That is the thing. Where, yes, I understand it's not a specific person, like he's not targeting someone, but watching the place where a person resides, works, carries on business, or happens to be, that's where the thing is. He's recording religious grounds. These people are there to carry on their business. It's one thing to record someone walking on a street, but it's another thing to be recording people while they live their life and do what they need to do in their own privacy, in somewhat of a public situation. Like I said, someone works, yes, absolutely, you can to some degree record in a place of employment. That's subject to the owner of the property. But if you're recording a person while they're working, that's no longer considered under the restrictions by the owner. That's the person that's working that you're recording, that's some means of intimidation. If you, hopefully you can understand what I mean by that. I understand that can be a little tricky, but that's what I essentially mean. That focusing on a specific individual or seemingly focusing on a specific individual is why I'm going over this. Because going over this group of people and recording a group of people, that not only can be viewed as this type of intimidation, but it can be a religious form of intimidation, because you're recording people of a specific religion, and you could be viewed as targeting a group of people, like a cultural group of people, and that isn't going to be viewed as good. But as we see, the exception for that is a person who attends at or near or approaches a dwelling house or place for the purpose of only of obtaining, communicating information does not watch or be set with the meaning of this section. So, like I said, he's really stepping on the line between, this subsection E and the exception here. Like I said, there's a lot more in the criminal code that there's to cover over why he's almost crossing the line, because you can absolutely record it in public, but once you focus on a specific individual, then that becomes a problem.
I understand. I'm only wearing a Trump shirt because it's his birthday today, actually. But,
What's his birthday?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. All right.
But,
Okay. Well, I mean, you have the not guilty shirt on your back, so I'm assuming you're a huge Trump supporter, or?
this was a gift given to me like 5-6 years ago, like when it all started,
Okay.
kind of thing. So.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
No worries. Okay. So, I mean, I don't have any issue, but like I said, people are going to constantly keep calling about it.
I would, you don't have to listen to me, but I would probably just let your dispatchers know that, like, hey, this guy's not breaking any laws. We're probably get some calls today.
No, that's fine. I'm just.
First of all, no, he's not going to say, hey, by the way, this guy's standing outside, he's not breaking any laws. This officer is trying to be the most positive to this guy, but he's essentially telling him, like, hey, people are going to be watching you too, and carefully making sure you're not doing anything, because he's being suspicious. He might not be committing a crime right now, but because he's standing outside recording wearing a black mask, he looks like he might commit a crime. Right? So if he does anything that almost gets on that line of doing so, then they can absolutely approach him. So enough of the criminal code and all that stuff. Let's just keep watching.
Yeah.
I'm just letting you know.
Yeah. Okay.
Right?
That's fine. I'm not here expecting that, so yeah, I know.
Okay. I'm just curious to know, like, why this location in particular?
Well, it's not just this location. Like, I do many locations. This is just one right now. Like, I'll do another one after, and then another one after. So
Okay.
It's not just this.
So you're starting here and then
Yeah.
going onwards?
That's right. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, we might have some other officers coming here asking some questions, but
Yeah. Okay.
I'll just go liaise with them for a sec, okay? If,
Sure.
if I get updated information from them, we're just come back and talk to you. Cool.
Yeah. No worries, man. Thanks.
Okay, so he just gave us a little sneak peek. He's going to go to multiple other locations. To which, why? Why? But then again, it's better for him to be going to these different locations than him to be staying, because then he's targeting, and then that. So that's probably why. I'll be honest, that's probably why. Here we go. Here is confrontation numero two. Duh.
किस चीज़ रिकॉर्डिंग कर रहे हैं किस चीज़ रिकॉर्डिंग कर रहे हैं उसे हाँ जी बस रिकॉर्डिंग ही
So we instantly see that this person, they're not trying to necessarily engage. He just asks, what are you doing? The guy doesn't respond. He's back to his actual silent audit. Amazing. Because he knows that he has to talk to a person of authority, even though that's the whole point of a silent audit, is to not even speak to people of authority, because you're expressing your freedom of expression. But when you speak to a police officer, you're kind of defeating the whole purpose of it. So that's why I think this is ridiculous. It's one thing if you're completely like taped over the mouth, can't talk at all, and you're recording, and the police officer comes up and you're recording. Well, the police officer can't do anything. You're absolutely just expressing your freedom of expression. But he did speak to the police officer. He said, "I'm not doing anything wrong." The whole point of a silent audit is to not say that you're not doing anything wrong. It's just you're not doing anything wrong. The freedom of expression is also not by having a mask over your face. That's well, I'm not saying that necessarily, but it's doing a silent audit, doing an audit of freedom of expression does not entail wearing a mask over your face, because then you're concealing your identity and therefore making yourself look more suspicious. So if you were to decide to record out in public like this guy's doing, and you weren't wearing a mask, as I said earlier, it might not be viewed as intimidating. You might be just recording for the sake of recording. But wearing a black mask on your face can be taken negatively, and the whole point of freedom of expression is so that people don't feel like they've been threatened. It's supposed to protect people who want to live how they want to live, but if people think they're being threatened, then they have the right to have something against it. That's the difference between the First Amendment and the freedom of expression. The First Amendment is pretty much anything as long as it's not a direct threat to someone. The freedom of expression is anything that isn't viewed as absolutely going against someone's nature, which recording someone in public and not specifically recording things in general can be viewed as obstructing someone's way of living. Like said, I'm not saying what he's doing is illegal, but it's really bridging between that. It's like it can definitely get to that point depending on what he does. If he does decide to be completely silent, then that's fine. But if he engages in any way possible, then absolutely. So that was just the most pussy ass move. This guy was just dodging and weaving, as we saw earlier in the preview. Like, why are you doing that? This guy is expressing his freedom of expression by recording you because you're recording him. If you decide to act like you have a problem with it, you kind of just destroyed the whole point of that you believe that people have a freedom of expression. You're expressing that you don't want to be recorded. And what do you know? You're recording people that don't want to be recorded. You're being a hypocrite.
Where do you belong to? You cannot. I'm going to stop you before. Why? You cannot. No, you can go that side. No.
So from what I can understand from that, the guy doesn't want him recording and says, go to the street over. Well, that obviously can be justified whether or not the property line includes the sidewalk or isn't the sidewalk. If it's including the sidewalk, then he's on private property and he's recording on private property. But I don't want to think that. I'm pretty sure the gate is to kind of constitute what is the property line. But it looks like we got confrontation numero trois. Or technically quattro if we count the guy called over. But we're just going to call this numero 3.
You from media outlet?
Sorry, what did he say?
You from media outlet?
I think he just said, are you a media outlet? No, he's not.
Don't speak. Why are you recording? Why are you recording me?
I'll say one thing. I record everybody.
Why?
Okay, you just broke your silent audit, buddy. I'll just say one thing. I record everybody. Okay, well, if you're recording everybody, don't focus on that one guy. The whole point of expressing your freedom of expression is to not target a specific individual. You're just expressing. It's one thing to just, oh, here's this, but you're honing in on specific people and following them until they are no longer worth any content, and then going on to the next person. That is not expressing your freedom of expression for a point. That is just trying to get a rise out of people. So no, you're not recording everybody. Come on. You focused on the same group of people the whole time.
That's it.
Why?
Okay, so we see this guy decide to start recording and walking up towards him. Or, I'm assuming recording. What is he doing? He's hiding?
Just fucking with you, man. Do is take this. See this light? Also a battery pack. All I have to do is take this and put it here and connect it to the phone. I can be here for 4 days straight. I bet I can be here.
What? Oh, I got a battery pack. I can be here for 4 days straight. Okay. I'm pretty sure that's the point this guy's trying to make as well. That if you're gonna record, I'm gonna record, and then he immediately shows his weakness by trying to up this guy by saying, "Oh, you think you can record me? Well, I can record you for even longer." You started it? Like, what?
I bet I can stay here longer.
Me too.
I literally called it. I just called it. Trust me, I have not. I watched the first few minutes of this video. I just called it. I knew he was gonna make the. I could be here longer. Oh my god.
Okay? You only have a phone, man.
So this has started off by a silent audit of freedom of expression, and I was turned into I'm trying to piss people off and trying to prove that I can record as long as possible. Like you are actively instigating by saying I can be here for 4 days straight. First of all, that is not a threat necessarily, but extended periods of time of recording people where they do their business is a little bit intimidating, right? If you're going to stand outside there for 4 days straight recording this building, or maybe just this guy, well, come on. That's just a little weird. If you're recording this guy alone, then sure, whatever. But if you're gonna stay out there for 4 days straight and record that, then that's gonna be a little more strange than just going on a daily stroll and recording for an hour or whatever.
Visual covering his face. I don't know what his intentions are. He's recording each and every single body going in and out of the temple. And when all the police, city police say we cannot do anything about it, and you can't even picturize him, so I'm doing it. Thank you.
That's good.
Sorry, I didn't have much to say about that. I don't know if that guy was talking to someone, but yes, the police said they can't do anything about it, but they are to watch, to see, is he going to do something? Because you can't just be like, oh, he's off the hook, he's not doing anything wrong. He might, he could have ulterior motives. He didn't say why he's there, so if he's there just to make a rise out of people, then that's just a dick move.
Come on, doggy.
Come on, doggy. Bro. Come on, what? Like, you are once again instigating by deciding to say stuff like that, and that's the whole point of a silent audit. You're not instigating, you're not engaging in confrontation. This guy has done exactly that to a police officer and to this guy. You're not silent auditing, dude. You're saying words that are not nice. Like, come on, man.
Come follow your master. Come on.
Oh my god. It's dealing like 20 HP every time this guy says shit like that. Are you the feelings police? Come on, doggy. Follow your master. Jesus, I'm dying here. I'm just gonna go back over the come on, doggy. That is actively provoking someone. If someone is appearing to be aggressive, which this guy happens to not be, but imagine if this guy was like really angry and was like, "You need to stop recording me." Well, this guy has the right to be angry, absolutely, and it's like, "Stop recording me. I'm trying to express my freedom of religion without being recorded. I don't want to be recorded." And you decide to walk away and say, "Come on, doggy, follow your master." And this guy decides, "All right, that's enough. I'm going to give you a little kiss in the cheek with my right hook." I mean, come on. That's not assault. You instigated the situation, and therefore you are at fault in that situation, as we just went over with the criminal code of intimidation. You are actively trying to provoke someone in order for them to commit a crime. I don't think that necessarily all of it was covered in the criminal code of intimidation of that section, but I know for a fact that is a part of the criminal code. But it's pretty easy to understand that pissing someone off intentionally and getting punched in the face will not get someone arrested for assault. That will get you arrested for intimidation. Okay, so nothing else interesting happens in that video. Oh man. But we can say that this guy was just a little poopy head, He just isn't being very nice. He's recording people without their consent and actively trying to piss people off while not actually doing a silent audit. Come on, man. So moral of the story here is this guy did not commit a crime. He was pretty close of doing so because he wasn't silent auditing. And by the way, life tip, silent auditing is just an excuse to be a nuisance in public. Why do you need to go outside and prove that you have a right to record in public? You don't need to prove that. When it's necessary, go ahead and prove it, but you know that you're doing it to get negative attention. Don't do it. And plus, silent audits is First Amendment because it actually covers stuff like that. Whereas in Canada, we like to protect our people. So stuff like that will not hold nearly as well in Canada as it will in America. I could be wrong, but to my belief, in Canada, wearing a Trump shirt, first of all, obviously, the guy didn't have anything crazy on his Trump shirt, but imagine if this guy's Trump shirt said something like, get rid of the gays. There you go, that's hate speech. That's against the law. He wasn't, so I'm not saying that he was, but wearing a Trump shirt is already a step enough. It's not against the law, but you wore the Trump shirt for a reason. You wore it because it would get reaction. You didn't wear it because it's your favorite shirt. I know I'm rambling. I know I keep throwing up hypotheticals, but it's just because I'm trying to prove that this is probably the best possible. No, actually, it's not. This guy is the middle ground between what could have happened versus what should have happened. The best case scenario, this guy shouldn't have said a word. He shouldn't have said a word because that's the whole point. And if he doesn't say anything, then nothing is to be interpreted. Just being outside and recording with a mask and not doing anything, you're not committing a crime. You're just going to be watched. Once you start speaking, then it goes somewhere. Once you start provoking and instigating, then you start crossing a line. What could have happened is that someone could have taken issue to that and he could have been assaulted because he was provoking, and therefore he was at somewhat fault for it because someone felt like their right to privacy was being breached. And then he instigated by calling someone a dog. So we're just going to say that this guy should be careful. Maybe next time, keep your mouth shut so you don't accidentally say anything. And yeah, that's all I have to say. If you guys like my good old journalism videos, leave a like, leave a comment, what else I should cover. This took a long time to find for a story that was worth looking into. And yeah, make sure to subscribe. Thanks, guys.